Good afternoon, everybody. I'll just give everybody a minute here. I think we are live. Facebook must have had a little update because it looks different to me, but I think we're all good. So let's just give everybody a minute to hop on. We're going to make a birthday card today. And can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Rosie. Hi, Stacy. Alrighty. I think my headphone is connected. Honestly, like these little tiny glitches last minute, my headphone connected to my iPad. Oh, good. Okay. Let me know if you can't hear anything. Hi, Jody. How are you guys doing today? Hey, Melita. I am doing well. Got all my crafty stuff here. Some Vicky Bouton crayons. I was excited to see that the pearlescent medium is back in the shop. That is really fun to work with. We did some cards with it at the carnival in September. So we're going to do some stuff with that today. This is the card we're going to make. You can see how it's so pearly and shiny in the light. And this is just regular white cardstock that we've put this pearlescent medium. So you can actually do quite a bit with the medium. You can put it on your papers, you can put it on your die cuts, you can mix it with your paints. So we're gonna do a little bit of those things today. Play around with that. All right. And what has everybody been up to? It is sunny here, but a little chilly. So of course, I think any day is a good day for doing crafts, but you know, if it's a little chilly, then probably a good day to stay in. This is what this medium looks like. You've got this little plastic cover, and I would just leave that on there to keep it nice and fresh. There is a lot in this container. So I've used this quite a bit, and there's still, you can see like it is completely full. You can use it through stencils, lots of fun things. Now I have noticed, you've got to wear shades. That's funny. Yeah, I figured it was nice and pearly, so we could kind of keep the colors muted. You had to help your mom with her computer. Hopefully that sorted out. That can be hard sometimes. Yeah, how did you make out, Rosie? So I do find with this that if you use it with your stencils or, you know, like even on your craft mat and stuff, you do want to wipe it up. Hey, Lorraine. Hello. I'm so glad, Scrap Shotz, that you could get this back in. It's such a cool medium. So yeah, I just keep a wipe handy, and if I have it on something, I give it a wipe off, or a sponge, I'll wash it out. So that's, you know, just rinse off your stuff just like you normally would. We've got some distress embossing glazes, which are always fun. And of course, the new Tim Holtz Distress color is being announced on Saturday, which is exciting. It's going on, it does not rub off when it's dry. So like I said, like if you have it on your stencil, rinse your stencil off because it'll just stick on there. It's not going to affect anything, but on the paper it's completely, there's nothing that rubs off once it's dry, and it does dry pretty quickly. So the distress color, what's everybody's guess? Because I've been totally wrong every time. I'm thinking red. That's my guess this time. But I thought we'd get some of the glazes out and I'd give you a look at the glaze, and just put the cover on this while we're chatting. It's a really nice fine embossing powder, the glazes, and they mix really nicely. And so I just thought, you know what, I'll pull them out. If you haven't tried them, it's such a great selection of colors, and they come out with each new color. You think yellow, Lorraine? Hi, Carrie. Yeah, yellow could very well be. So we're gonna try these. We've got the giant birthday messages, which are really fun. You've got these two really big messages. And then you've got the happy birthday. They also have the giant, I think it's called Merry Christmas. That's in the store now. And then there's an oval die cut that comes with the holiday one that's out. And that would as well fit this. You've got all these little shapes. You've got the stars and the confetti and the little gift and the present. So of course you can use these on cards that have this sentiment on them, or you could use them with any of the little animal if you have other Lawn Fawn stamps. And then the Christmas one has different Christmas icons on it. The product is called Pearlescent Medium. So that's what it is. Sizzix Pearlescent Medium. Then we've got this Altenew angled mosaic folder, which has been really good. We used it at the carnival, and then we made the card here live that we made for Christmas. So this is a really great all-purpose folder. And I noticed there's a few different kind of geometric ones in the shop that you could definitely mix and match. But you can see how beautiful this is. Like it just, we used it for Christmas. This is obviously birthday, and you could use it as definitely an all-purpose folder for any type of card. And then of course we have some Dream Drops, which are my favorite. And we've got some Vicki Boutin gel crayons, and these are back in the store as well. We've done a few different projects with these. They're really fun. You know, you can write on your paper. We're going to color in our images and mix it with the pearlescent medium. So you can scribble off to the side to do that. So what we're going to do first is make some pearly paper. And this was just really super easy. So I'm just going to use my mat because it's nice and easy to wipe up. I think maybe I need to invest in a new mat. You know, they get used and it still works, but it's kind of looks a little bit stained. I just have a sponge applicator that you would put ink on with, and sponge on with your inks, and really you barely use any. So I'm just rubbing some of that off the edge. I'm not like pushing this in, I'm just dabbing it and then wiping it on the edge. You just want to get a little bit on the sponge, and then you can definitely put more on as needed. And all we're going to do is pull that over the surface. It goes on really nice and smooth. And as I feel it being used up, I'm going to add a little bit more. And even if you did get a blob on there, it's going to be fine. You can see I put a little bit more on that time, and it still smooths out. So if you were using a stencil and you were putting it on with the stencil, then you could use a sponge, or if you wanted a thicker application, you could use a palette knife. You could even mix it with some pastes, and you can see like it didn't take much. It's completely covered. Hi, Jenny. So if I put it to the side, you can really tell that shine that's on it. And you've created your own pearl paper, which is really cool. So then you do want to set that aside just to dry for a minute, and it doesn't take very long. And while we're waiting, so then if I was done with this, I would just throw it in a little bit of soapy water and rinse it out. And then while we're waiting, we'll do our stamped image. So this is a nice, quick, easy way. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, it's really nice and just shimmery, right? You get that shimmery effect. This would be lovely for like a snow card or white Christmas card as well. So I've just die cut an oval, and this is using Vicki Boutin foundation paper. I used watercolor paper for this one, but I thought I'd try the foundations paper for this one. I really love using the foundations paper. It's a really great thick paper. You can use it for all kinds of mixed media. And we're just going to position this on. And hopefully my magnets can hold this enough. Okay, then we've grabbed some Versamark ink, which is just that clear ink. So Lorraine, have you started your Christmas cards yet? I have started some Christmas cards. I think last week Lorraine said nope, she had not. And we'll just push that down. I forgot my little air hockey paddle downstairs, which has been really handy. So I'm just going to use this to press down. Not yet. You know what? There's still tons of time. And even though I do start some early, it seems like I never quite get them mailed out in time. I don't know. I never know. So I took my powder bag out, totally forgot to use it on the back. We're just going to go with that because I can't tell if it moved or not. So let's just do that. Have to get back in the crafty saddle. Yes. And if this doesn't have enough ink on it, we'll have to improvise. Okay, so we are going to do almost like an ombre look. So you can see I've just poured it on halfway and then tipped it off. And you can do as many colors as you want this way. You could even use a little spoon if you wanted to have it just in specific spots. So this one here is the prize ribbon distress glaze, and then this one is salvaged patina. So this is that lovely light blue, and it would have been helpful if I had used the powder bag, but I didn't. So you can see there's a little bit of that blue powder that's stuck around. And I will tap it off a little bit better once I get this. But if it's, you know what, I'm not really going to worry about it because it's a handmade card, and whoever you give it to is going to love it. Okay. I feel like this needs just a little bit more of the blue right around the letters, so I'm just going to dump that on like that. And you can see it's pretty much stuck where it should stick. And there's a few little flecks, but we're not going to worry. If you do use your powder bag beforehand, then it helps nothing to stick to it that shouldn't. All right, so then we're going to heat that up. And we'll put our little stamp away. These are such a great stamp and such a good way to have a big focal image on the front of your card if you don't feel like coloring, if you don't want to use a coloring image, or you just want something that's pretty quick. Hello, Celine, how are you? All right, I'm gonna top that off a bit more. I think it looks fine. So we'll turn this on. Sometimes it's good just to let it heat up for a minute. Really love the sentiment on that. And then you can even heat it from the back a little bit if you just want to still make sure that it's not going to blow any powder off. It's not as big an issue with something that's quite a fine powder. If you have a chunkier powder, it's always helpful to heat it from the back. And you can see these are really fine lines, and they just melt, or they just turn out really nicely with the glaze. I think it's always great to have a really nice embossing powder. Now I'm just trying to look at it in the light, make sure we've got everything. All right, there we go. And that's pretty even just like that. My creative ideas, and hope that they work out, hey? They usually do. And even if they don't, well, we can usually figure something out. So we're going to grab this. I think this is dry. I'm just going to give it one little shot. So you can see how nice and pearly that is in the light. It's just beautiful. If I can get a good light. So the Altenew folders, I believe they're 6 by 6. No, maybe 5.5. So you can make a square card if you want, or you can decide which way you want to layer, which way you want if you have a pattern that goes a certain way. Thanks, Melita. It is a 3D folder, so you just adjust your plates as you need them. And I usually just run through and back. So here is our beautiful, I think it's just stunning once you emboss that pearl paper. Like, it's just so gorgeous. And that was just a piece of plain white cardstock. And I love this pattern. So we've got, that's all embossed. Then we are going to do a little bit of watercoloring. So we've got, this is the light blue and, thanks Lorraine, the dark blue from the Vicky Bouton crayon set. And I've just got a water brush, but you can take a paintbrush. And sometimes I feel like it's easier if you have a little cup of water. So in order to make your paints pearly as well, because here we painted them in, but added the pearl medium. So you can do this with anything that you're doing. If you have some sprays that you wanted to spray and mix, anything that you add it to, it's going to have a pearly effect. So usually what I do is just take, you don't need very much, just take a little bit. When we did the card at the carnival for Christmas, some of the girls used a white poinsettia die cut and just put that, we were painting it with paint, but some of the girls just used that over their poinsettia that was die cut, and it was stunning. Then I will just add a little bit of water. So that's the crayon. You could go ahead and paint that on, but once we mix it with that pearlescent medium, it becomes a pearly blue color. So we'll add this in, and this is a fairly thin tip, and if you feel like you need more color, you can add some more crayon. And you're basically just painting with it. So this would make a nice addition if you had a Christmas card, or even that Christmas message, the large Christmas message from Lawn Fawn, and you wanted to, I can't remember if there's a lot in it or not to color, but if there is areas or words that you can color in, then you can do the same thing. You could do it with the reds or greens or whatever Christmas color you want. The shine of the paint is amazing in real life. Especially once it dries. So you can see it a little bit. Yeah, look, see, you can see that shiny effect. So here, let's zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to take this light blue because I want to play off that ombre look that we kind of went with the embossing powder. And I'm just coloring the tops of the letters. And it's so nice and smooth, and it's just a really soft, pearly color. The gel crayons are so nice to use. There's so many ways that you can use them, but I do really like painting with them. So I've got half of that colored in. Now I'm going to do the darker blue. And you can see that is starting to dry a little bit. Make sure our cover is on. So you just want to add some water. And we've got a little bit too much there, but we'll just let that soak in a little bit. I don't want that to spread, but it is helpful because we embossed. I'm just taking the end of a tissue and I'm just dabbing it up just because I don't want it to run. I don't think it would, but. So because we added the embossing on there, it creates a little bit of a well, so you don't have to worry about it spreading too much. It just seemed like I had a little bit of a blob of water there. So this thicker paper, it definitely will absorb the paint or whatever medium. You're just going to let it sit there for a minute. I think I have a little bit extra water on the darker blue than I had on the lighter blue. And once it dries, it's going to look beautiful. And we can also use the heat gun if we need to heat it. Now on this one, I actually did a few little splatters of the blue. So if you want to do any splatters, those are fun as well. I just watered it down even more just to make it just a soft, subtle blue. And I'm just going to move that out of the way. So if you're just doing some light splatters, which I thought, you know, it's pearly and it's got the same colors, so it just adds a little bit of interest. And that's going to dry nice and soft. And we might have to use the heat gun, but we'll just set that aside just to give a couple splatters. Thank you, Creative Scrapbooker Magazine. How are you doing? So we are going to just wipe that up because we don't need that blue anymore. And that's still drying, but that's fine. And now we can go and grab some other colors. So we've got some orange that we'll use for the candles. And we'll use some yellow for the stars. And then we've got some purple that we can use for some of those fun little dots. And I think you can see that okay. All right, so again, now we could just color on normally, but we have this pearl, so why not use it, right? So I'm just gonna put a little dot by each one. And that's probably way more than we need, but you can see it's just a tiny little bit. Oh, did I spray with water before putting it in the Big Shot? No, I did not. Sorry, I missed that, Celine. No, I just ran it through. All right. Let's do the yellow first, because then we'll mix. And you can mix these colors too. Of course, you don't want to mix purple with orange because that will turn brown unless you want brown, and then that's fine. But any of the colors that you want to mix to get a cool effect. So we're just putting a little drop on there. And that's going to soak in. And then I'm not even going to really rinse my brush off. I'm just going to go right into the orange because I want kind of an orangey yellow for the flame. And you can see it pretty much just stays right in that well, which is nice. I think the watercolor paper itself absorbs the water a little bit quicker, but I still like this foundation paper just for it's flat, and when it dries, like, it just takes the media so well. Let's see here. So we'll rinse that out. Yeah, I love making my own colors as well. No problem, Jennifer. How are you? So, I mean, basically you have, in this pack, you've got the black, and then you've got all your basic colors. And so, of course, you can mix those exactly how you want. Go back to basic color mixing and just play. And if you want a brown color, you just mix your primary colors. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of purple, and then I think I had pink on the other card, but maybe we'll do yellow because we've got it out. And you don't need a whole lot. Or we could just do purple and white. Okay, let's give this a little shot. Do the little dots as well, or we could just do the dots with the Dream Drops. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. So this is almost dry. can really see how pearly and pretty. Yes, definitely unlimited. Look at that, Wishes. That looks so pretty. Okay, and then we're going to glue our card base on. So we'll just wipe that up. And I haven't had any problem with this drying out at all. I like that they have that plastic cover that they put inside the cover. Okay, so I felt like, you can see those, sorry, I forgot to zoom out. Yeah, the shine is nice. Thanks, Carrie. And you can just see those subtle little dots. So we'll add a little bit of foam tape, just because I think it looks fun. You could glue this completely down, but I like the look of it just popped up a little bit. So does anybody have any plans for the weekend? It's only Thursday, I realize, but I do not have plans, but I'm excited to see Tim Holtz's new color. Sandy does have that available for pre-order in the shop under the new October, if you guys are looking to buy it. So I know there's a few things I always like to order. There is a bundle as well that you can order if you know that you want everything. This is that Studio Cadia foam tape, which is in that nice big roll. So we ordered pumpkins from my girls' school, and I'm going down to help them at the school give out the pumpkins. It just seems like October was here so quickly, and already it's mid-October. This is hard to do when I'm not right over, so just bear with me. Okay, I think that's pretty much straight. You can't wait to try them, Stacy? The new crayons, yes. You have cards to sell. That's fun, Lorraine. Yes, Melita. Sorry, I'm just catching up on these comments. Tasks and chores. Yeah, well, of course. And yeah, it is a stunning folder, hey? It really creates such a nice background. Lorraine, you will have fun. Oh yes, the new crayons. Did you see Tim Holtz's demo of those new mica crayons? Those look fantastic. So Sandy's ordered those in for scrap shots. Yes, we do hope your sale goes wonderfully, Lorraine. All right, I'm going to, I think I glued this down, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and pop it up because that tape's down now. It's not coming up. And whoever said that too much dimension was a bad thing? No one ever said that. They are limited edition. So I guess if it's something that you're looking for and you want, I only ordered one of the mica sprays. I'm not sure if there's any left in the shop. I know there was one set of the holiday left. So I only ordered one of those, so I figured I will get the crayons. I really enjoy the crayons. So I'm thinking I can even use them with my Vicky Bouton crayons too, so I'm excited about that. Okay, I've got to stand up again to get this centered. This is the Watercolor Wishes cardstock from Lawn Fawn, and I did see that this was in the shop. So it has the little polka dots, and it's all in almost an ombre pattern, and you've got this really nice watercolor, and you've got all the colors of the rainbow, and those dots are such a great, I like polka dots. So you have a few of the holiday set #1 mica sprays, so if it's something you guys are looking for, there's a few in the shop, and I know that the distributor has sold out, so they won't be getting those back in again. Lorraine is ready. Aw, over 300. Holy moly. You have been busy. All right, and we'll put that on, and we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna go for the dimension. That's why I like the roll, because I can just put a line, and I feel like I've got enough on there. Thanks, Rosie, for putting those links in there. I put my tweezers somewhere last week and I have no idea where I put them. So I grabbed that little pokey thing. It is so difficult if you're not looking right down on something to get it straight. That looks pretty straight. We'll go with that. Okay, now we have our dream drops. So I think there's like 7 or 8 different colors. This one is Fairy Wings. It's kind of a soft pink color. They're all iridescent. This one is Indigo Eclipse, and then we have Frosted Lake. So I thought they were kind of all colors that looked nice, and we'll go ahead and put these on. So with the dream drops, they self-level, so when you put your little drop on, you can just leave it and it's going to smooth out really nicely. And you can do as big or small as you want. And I like that these colors on the white, they're just soft. You can also put these on dark. Before I put it away, we'll put a little dot in these little fun little spots. So if you're putting it on a dark cardstock and rubbing it on, you'll get like a different color and it looks really fantastic and shiny. So we'll put 3 drops on each side and then finish . Those little dots in the center. There's so many neat ways that you could color this stamp set for sure. And I really love how that crayon mixed with the water to make a watercolor. I love how it turned out. So after you put this on, you do want to set it aside to dry. And then you just have this really lovely, yeah, thanks Jenny. Sometimes I don't know when to stop, or I just feel like, oh, I should add this and I should add this. But I feel like, yeah, with the soft colors and you've got the shine, then there's definitely lots. Thanks, Melita. You filled your basket again. Well, I hope that it's with fun things. Dream drops, yes, Jenny. Definitely awesome. Thanks, Jennifer. So there's a close-up. Look at all that shine. I know, sometimes it's hard, especially if you have in your mind. If you come back later and you think, oh, I should put this there. But I'm happy with this. Like I feel like I did lots of things. I did the watercolor, did the shine. Really happy with how this wishes turned out. And then we've got some drops on there. The dream drop link didn't work. So maybe Rosie, maybe you can post that again, or if you just go to the shop, Melita, and search for Dream Drop, then it should come up. But definitely message us or let us know if you can't find anything. Oh, there, we'll try it again. Try that one there and see if that one works. So I hope you guys have a fun afternoon. I will definitely have fun. Thanks, Janet. Delivering pumpkins and picking up my pumpkins from school for our little fundraiser. It's not working. Oh, it worked for Melita. Maybe it's just Facebook. I don't know. Sometimes it's just funny. And hopefully you guys have a great weekend ahead. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks, Jenny. And thanks for hanging out with me while I'm crafting. So I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.